we have the most professional and able professionals of this country that have been installed as members of the board of all these companies. And we've completely isolated ourselves from these companies and completely detached ourselves. So there is no additional secretary and minister and secretary who's giving any instructions to these boards on what to do and what not to do. They've already made out a plan, and in the past 3 months, we've seen a fair reduction in the theft and the losses that these companies used to face. And the IMF and all other business partners and development partners of ours are extremely happy and content with the kind of reforms that are happening within these distribution companies. This will save you and your country and ours more than 500 billion rupees in subsidies that we have to finance through the finance ministry, and pull that money out of the development sector and bear the consequences of the theft and the losses that these companies face. Along with that, the Privatization Commission has already been handed over 3 companies from amongst 10 that are going to be privatized by May next year. So the financial advisors are in place, are about to be in place in the next 1 month by the Privatization Commission. So by the end of next year, out of the 10 companies that Pakistan has, more than 7 of these companies would have been privatized, and privatized in a much healthier manner than we've seen in the past. So the KE privatization is not an ideal one. Is it an ideal one? Are you enjoying K Electric services in this country, in this city? No. He just told me that you'll be a very popular man if you talk against Karachi Electric. So we are trying to learn from that, and we've gone through the learning curve, and hopefully the next privatization process will bring about private sector entities that will be far more efficient than Karachi Electric has been in the past. Pakistan is also facing a very serious issue as far as IPPs are concerned. So we have this constraint on us about how we are supposed to hold the sanctity of our existing contracts and not be unfair to the investors, and yet bring about an environment where IPPs could review the contracts that they have with us. The contracts signed with the IPPs in the past have not been efficient. I'll be very frank in saying that. The kinds of returns that they've earned, the kinds of operation and maintenance cost that they are being paid by us, they are not competitive. They're not regionally competitive, they're not nationally competitive, and hence we need to review the contracts that we've gone in with these IPPs in the past. We'll have to do it with mutual consent. This can't be one-sided, otherwise we'll face international litigation. That's something Pakistan can't afford. Since we're going into a very aggressive privatization process, we would want the investors to feel comfortable enough in investing into Pakistan, but we've started the negotiations, and we plan in the next 1 month or so to arrive at a point where the entire generation profile in Pakistan, which is categorized into 3 parts. One are the plants, which are about 70% of the capacity, that are owned by us, which is the government of Pakistan. Their return on equity needs to be rationalized. So they're earning a lot more profits than they should. We need to ask them to forego that in order for that to have a good impact on the pricing structure of of electricity itself. Then the next category is the ones in the form of wind and solar plants that were invested into all the way from 2002 until 2016. We've also engaged with them, and we are going to talk about trying to bring down and change the environment of take and pay, or take or pay, to take and pay, so that we get to utilize the power as much as we want, whenever there is a demand on the grid, and not pay for the rest of the capacity. So this is also going to have a negative impact on the price, and the price will come down. The third part is some of the plants that we do not require anymore. So nobody had ever before sat down and done proper research and analyzed each and every generation plant, which we've done in the past 5, 6 months now. And we're going to be talking to every plant, including the government plants, to review their contracts and to bring down the price of power by a good 2.5 to 3 rupees per unit. So this IPP, reviewing of the IPP contracts would actually harvest a good 2 to 3 rupees for you in the within the next few months. Other than the IPPs, we have other serious issues like our national transmission company, the NTDC. There has to be restructuring out there. So there are these 11 or 12,000 employees typically working in a government-controlled environment. So we are splitting that NTDC up into 3 pieces. One is going to form the independent system market operator. This is the key reform that this government has taken upon itself. So from, say, about 2-3 years from now, we are seeing or we are wanting to move towards an environment where there is no single buyer of energy in the market.